And we're back with Demi Lovato, who wanted to speak with Kimberly, and also joining us again, Dr. Cynthia Bulick. Demi, what would you say to Kimberly? You heard her story and heard how she felt. A bit of denial, I think, and also feeling that the worst wouldn't happen to her. What would you say to Kimberly?
Well, first of all, I want to say you're absolutely brave and courageous for stepping on a stage in front of however many people are going to watch this and admit to your issues. I really, really admire that, and I think you're awesome for doing that.
Thank you. I agree. She's so mature, too, isn't she?
Yeah.
Very mature.
I give you kudos to like going and getting help and doing what you need to do to get help. And it looks like you're doing awesome by what I hear, and I just hope that you keep it up.
Thank you.
And what would you ask Demi about this? I mean, she's walked this walk and struggled with it for many years. Is there something you'd like to ask her, Kimberly, that might be helpful to you?
Yeah, I actually have two questions. One being, do you ever eat like high-calorie foods like ice cream or cookies or cake? And if you do, like, do you ever feel the need right afterwards to like go to the gym or go running just to like get it off?
Well, I'm a woman who loves chocolate. And I think we all agree that once a month, we all need to eat a lot of chocolate. But yeah, of course, I definitely do. It took me a while. I'm still afraid of certain foods. I can't really eat pasta without it really triggering me. Milkshakes, I mean, certain things really trigger me, and I know to stay away from them. But, you know, most of the time, I really just try to tell myself and talk myself through it that it's okay. And one meal isn't gonna hurt you. There's some desserts that have an absurd amount of calories, and it's okay to do that once in a while. You know, you can't deprive yourself from enjoying things just because you're gonna feel guilty about it, when it comes to food especially. And sometimes my mind goes to this place where it's like, oh, you have to go to the gym afterwards. It's a matter of what you do. Do you go to the gym afterwards and work for 2 hours, or do you sit with yourself and say, you know what, I'm gonna get through this, I'm okay, I'm gonna breathe through this, and talk to somebody about it?
What's your other question? Do you want free concert tickets?
You can totally have. I know some people.
During, you know, your eating disorder, did you ever distance yourself from family and friends? You know, just live in your own little box?
Absolutely. My best friend was that evil little voice inside my head that was telling me to do things to my body. I absolutely isolated. I would stay in because, you know, when you're with your friends, you go to the movies or you go out to eat or whatever.
And it becomes more difficult to adhere to such rigidity, right?
Right, and I wasn't allowing myself to go to places where I was gonna eat. So if, you know, all of my friends wanted to go to dinner, I'd say, oh, I don't feel well, you know, and not put myself in a social environment just because there was food around. So I became a very, very lonely person, and it was probably the loneliest years of my life.
Dr. Bulick, I imagine that these things are very familiar to you. And, you know, I wrestled with bulimia all through college and for 2 years after that. And I know this rigidity, this feeling that if you eat one thing that's wrong, you're full of self-loathing, and then you punish yourself, whether it's one cookie or a stick of gum that isn't sugarless. That I would sometimes beat myself up for that. How do you have a healthy relationship with food and say, you know what, I can have one cookie and it's okay? That is such a huge thing for people who wrestle with this.
That's right, and that's part of the recovery process. I think what's really neat about what we just saw is this is like recovery mentorship. It's like you can look into the future and someone can say, this is possible, recovery is possible, I can change my thoughts that way. And just the honesty behind saying, yeah, I do still struggle, and these thoughts do come into my mind sometime, but just knowing that you can get past that and learning strategies from someone who's been there, that's what it's all about in terms of recovery.
And you have to intervene early, because you should never think it's just a phase my daughter's going through. You have to take it seriously right away.
That's a big mistake. Let's remember that anorexia has the highest mortality rate of any psychiatric illness. It's not a passing phase. It's not a drive-through disorder. This is something you need to catch early and nip it in the bud, and you'll have better outcome.
Well, we're very proud of both of you, Demi and also Kimberly, for sharing your story, and for you for staying strong. Show us your tattoos.
Stay strong.
That's right. And when we come back, we're going to show you how strong Demi is. She's going to perform from her new album, Unbroken. So stay with us.